Coming up on Mississippi Roads, we follow a story on the Gestalt gardeners, Felder Rushing's garden truck. We fly into the past with the Commemorative Air Force in Madison. And we take a look at the world's largest book restorer, located right here in Mississippi.
Down Mississippi Road, Mississippi Road.
Hi, welcome to Mississippi Roads. I'm Walt Grayson. I am intrigued by this week's topic. We're taking a look at old things that still have plenty of life left in them. And we're basing our operations at Bruce Campbell Airfield in Madison because it's a prime example of what we're talking about. Now, this airfield originated back in 1940 as a training base for pilots that would be heading off to the looming World War II. And over the decades, it's expanded and grown into a thoroughly modern airport servicing the city of Madison, Mississippi. These hangars back behind me were built back in 1940 for that important mission, and they're every bit as busy today, if not more so, than they were then. Well, not too long ago, the folks up at Holmes Community College took on an important mission of their own. If you're a fan of MPB radio, you're probably familiar with the Gestalt gardener, Felder Rushing, and his truck garden. Well, the truck got vandalized not long ago, but the folks at Holmes put the truck back on the road, so it's going and growing again. Take a look.
I don't remember how long I've had this truck. I bought it from my dad. It had 57,000 miles on it. It's in its third engine now. And so I have no idea. It's got at least 300,000 miles on it. I mean, it's been to Boston, it's been to Chicago, it's been to Dallas, it's been to Florida, all over the place. And guess what? I don't have any trouble with bugs on my garden because I drive way too fast. My truck, which is an antique, belonged to my dad. I left it out in the street one night with the keys in it, and some young guys came through looking for just a joyride, I guess, and they stole it. And I got kind of depressed, but we got the truck back. The police found it. 2 nights later, the police came up, knocked on my door, and said they caught them 3 blocks over driving my truck all stripped down. And I'm thinking, too young to be stupid. And they stripped it, they got everything off of it, threw away my plants, tore up my bottle tree, threw away my hula girl. You know, they were young guys. They figured they could ride around in a truck painted like a tractor and get away with it if they got rid of the bottle trees and the flowers. Hello? I mean, I felt okay about it because it's an old truck and, you know, it's a karma thing, and Santa Claus will keep track of those boys.
Well, I was reading the Clarion Ledger about Felder's unfortunate mishap with his truck, and I was pretty sad. I've been following him for a long time, and a lot of our alumni and people that work at Holmes are big fans of his work. Here's a Mississippian that we can help. So we said, you know, what would be a great story with to showcase the college's career tech programs and also kind of bring a landmark back to Mississippi. And so we emailed him.
I got emails literally from California to New York, people who garden writers and other people have heard about it. And I found out real quick there's a lot of people that know me and a lot of people know the truck. More people like the truck than like me. When it first got stolen, I was describing it to the police, and the policeman said, "Mr. Rushing, we all know your truck." So anyway, the folks at Holmes Community College decided that they were going to chip in and help fix it up and repaint it.
I emailed Felder, and we immediately thought this would be a perfect project for Holmes. It would showcase our auto collision repair major, and so our foundation actually stepped up and provided the resources for the material. And then our students needed a good learning project, and we thought this would be a great way to showcase what we do and also work for a good cause.
Felt real good. I was relieved. I was relaxed. It's sort of like rewarded for being, you know, kind of calm about it. The folks up at Holmes Community College at their automotive repair technology program did a fantastic job of completely refurbishing it. They completely took all the dents out. They repainted it, threw a new transmission in it, put that old Silver Eagle back on it, and it's better than new. It looks so nice now, thanks to all the folks who have helped with this. I feel like I need to put a sports coat on and tie my hair back just to drive it.
So we're glad that we've got to show off the talent that we have here. And the most important thing is that we're taking people and we're changing their life, and we're putting them through a program where they can get out very quickly and make a difference and make a good living. So that's a win-win for everybody.
The folks at Holmes Community College did a fantastic job, and all of a sudden I just feel like people are looking at me again. You know, I'm an old guy driving an old truck with an old dog, but I feel like I'm, you know, can an old guy feel pretty, I guess? I don't know. But anyway, I decided to go ahead and put a bottle trees back on it, get my frogs back in it, a new gnome, and start planting it again. The whole idea of this truck was to show that you can garden anywhere, anybody. And if I can grow stuff in the back of a little truck, why can't I grow it in the back of a big truck? So now this painted, it's ready to go. I'm replanting it, and I've chosen plants because they're pretty, they're useful. I have culinary herbs here. I can eat roadkill if I have to. But also, they have to take heat and drought, summer, winter, rain, no rain, and according to the Louisiana State Highway Patrol, 81 miles an hour. Years ago, somebody whined because they didn't have a place to garden. I don't have a place to garden, I'm too busy. I'm thinking, anybody can grow stuff in a pot, you know, as long as you got something spiky, something roundy, something frilly, maybe a little accessory. And I'm thinking, why not do something in the back of my pickup truck? So I started out with a bag of potting soil with a couple of herbs and a tomato and a pepper, and it grew. All I did was get water whenever I got gas. A couple of years later, I got a bigger bag of potting soil, and then it worked so well and it was so popular, I put this box in the back, had a special made box, and fill it with special potting soil, kind of lightweight so it doesn't, you know, increase my gas mileage. Started planting all different stuff, and over the years, I found out stuff that looks good all year without a whole bunch of care. Some of it you can eat when you're tired of looking at it. Some of it just for fun. Some of it's cactus and succulents, you know, real trendy stuff. Some is old-fashioned things like the iris out of my great-grandmother's garden. But the idea is to show that in a small space, you can grow a lot of stuff without a whole bunch of horticulture know-how. Alrighty, that was quick, but it doesn't take long if you know what you're doing. And what I've been doing is showing that anybody can garden anywhere. This old truck of mine, it was my dad's truck and it got stolen, and we had it repainted, John Deere green. Remember that song? The whole town said it should have used red, but it looked good to Charlene, and John Deere green. Well, I've got a John Deere green truck and a little planter, and the fact is this old thing it's an antique 1988 and it's running again, and I'm gonna be showing people all over the South that if I can garden in the back of a pickup truck, anybody can garden. I want to thank everybody who's helped put this old truck back together, because we are going to roll on down the road now. I've gotten a lot of use out of it. I loved it. It's my dad's truck and all that, but when I got it back, I felt like, you know, like I had a chance to do something new, a new beginning. There have been so many people who have joined in and helped fix this truck up, because it's sort of it's an icon of hope, of gardening. It sounds real corny, but you know, whatever it takes to get the message across. Gardening is easy. I can do it, you can do it. I can do it in a pickup truck.
Over 3,000 cadets got their primary flight training in World War II right here at Bruce Campbell Field in Madison. And the aircraft that they used primarily for that flight training is this one right behind me here. This is the 1941 J-3 Cub. They used this because it was available, they were cheap to build, and also because it had tandem seating. They were useful for such things as reconnaissance and ground control, even use them as an air ambulance. And this particular little workhorse is owned by a group of volunteers calling themselves the Commemorative Air Force. Now, this is a worldwide organization, and they dedicate themselves to preserving American military aircraft. And there's a branch of that organization right here in Madison.
The Commemorative Air Force originally started out as a acquire, restore, and maintain World War II aircraft. It has now morphed into more of an education side of things. We have acquired and restored a lot of aircraft, but there's the education component that's been missing for quite a while. And we have finally put a formula together that works really well, telling about the Tuskegee Airmen, the story, the struggle that they went through. And then also with the aircraft themselves, they have their own personal stories. Those stories really connect people together, but when you tell the story, you also have to educate them, you have to connect with them. And as long as we're able to do that, we can ensure that future generations will know more about the CAF and what their parents, their grandparents went through during World War II.
I went to an air show the Mississippi Wing was having at Hawkins Field. I went to the next meeting. The wing leader sent me a personal letter inviting me to join up, and I joined up, and that's been it.
Started about a little over 30 years ago in Madison. It's grown into an organization. It was we had one hangar out at Bruce Campbell Field there. We've moved into a new hangar here about 2 years ago. We've got a museum there as well as several aircraft there.
When I first got in, most of the members were World War II veterans, whether pilots, and they were real enthusiastic about the Commemorative Air Force because it was their generation, you know, about World War II planes and the history and so forth.
But most of those are not living anymore now. So Bob Bates and I are the only two that are attending that have been here since the one was started in '81. But the others, we still had about 20 people for lunch today, and they're coming, it's a different generation. But they still love this, working with these planes and the air shows and keeping it all going.
I think a lot of people have a connection with it because a lot of their family members during World War II, it was an all-nation event. They had to fight for their freedom and for this country so that we weren't oppressed. So a lot of family members can connect with their stories to these aircraft because these aircraft have survived.
You can belong to other wings, like if some other squadron wing has a plane that you like, but you're a member of our wing, you can join them and go visit them and so forth. But the other side of it is that if you don't fly, it is kind of interesting just to be around the planes and work on them and hear them run. If you like fishing, you're going to talk fish. If you like airplanes, you're going to talk airplanes.
Mostly it's a large group of people. It's not always pilots or mechanics. The group started off with mechanics restoring planes, and they realized they needed some pilots to fly the planes. And so within that came along, and then over the course of time, we've added more people like myself into the unit who are involved with helping educate people, raise the money it takes to do the restoration projects and the education and things like that.
The one plus about us is that we are a flying a museum or organization, and that's what the CAF prides itself in.
Several hundred units across the country with the CAF. We've got an Air Force of over 100 airplanes that actually fly, and I think that's the most thing. A lot of exhibits are like here are static exhibits that don't fly. The actual planes that the CAF it has, we're flying and trying to restore them to fly, not just restore them for people to walk up and look at them on the ground, but actually to watch them fly, hear the sound of an engine. If you've never heard the sound of a Mustang engine or a P-40, it's a different experience.
We're constantly adding planes to it, and of course this next generation aviation is Vietnam, and we've got some Vietnam airplanes, and it's getting hard to find the World War II airplanes and parts.
Well, to me it's about restoring the World War II planes that were so involved in making us free like we are today, fighting that big battle, and I just think it's worth remembering and commemorating. So, and the fellowship with the people is also good. They're all about the same cause, and the faithfulness of them to that cause. So, and the accomplishments that we've made. We've restored at least 2 planes since I've been a member.
Right now we're working on a Stinson. We've been working on it for several years. It's a plane that was assigned up in the New Jersey area to the Civil Air Patrol during World War II.
Right now we have the Stinson, which is a CAF airplane, but we have members that have their aircraft in here, and we have 2 O2s, and they're both owned by Mississippi Wing members. In the CAF, you get the opportunity to ride in World War II aircraft, you know, if you're at an air show or something like that.
When I first joined, A lot of guys were gracious enough to put me in the back seat of their aircraft and take me along for a ride, and that kind of builds the energy up and enthusiasm to get involved with the organization. It's great.
I'm the operations officer, which means part of my job responsibilities involve helping with fundraising as well as education programs that we do and outreach into the community there. This was a program that I put together where we could bring some of our members over here. We've been over to Southern Heritage Air Foundation at Vicksburg, Tallulah to their airport today. We came over here to the Chennault Museum, brought some guests with us as well as some members, gave us a chance to see the Chennault Museum, see the interactiveness of it, and also as well as look at some of the plane restorations that they're doing, like this one behind me. The best way to educate people is to get them interested, and the best way to get them interested is to take them someplace and let them see something. Also, we have speakers that come in and speak on different topics. We've had some people from the World War II era, Tuskegee Airmen, Flying Tigers, and people like that come and speak to our groups and meetings and stuff. So those, I think, are real important that people hear those stories and have those stories retold and passed down.
Just so we don't forget, if none of us probably will forget, but those around us, our children and grandchildren, neighbors and what have you, if they see the activities that go on here and see these planes flying and being put back together because of the love for what the people, the service people did for us, I just think it's important to keep that memory alive.
The CAF was sort of tongue-in-cheek originally called the Confederate Air Force. Their origins were in Texas. But as their collection grew and their membership grew, they changed their name to the more encompassing Commemorative Air Force. Today they've got over 12,000 members in 27 different states and 4 foreign countries. And as we saw, one of their missions is to restore military aircraft, kind of like the one back behind me here, the old Cessna 02A from the Vietnam War era. In our next story, we're going to take a look at the restoration of old books. Norris Bookbinding is the largest book repair and Bible restoration company in the nation. And while they breathe new life into old books, its owners are trying to figure out how to breathe new life into a dying art form.
Norris Bookbinding is a real specialist in rebinding and restoring old Bibles and old books. We're probably the most diversified bookbinding company in the world. We bind everything from newspapers, we still bind courthouse records, we bind all types of periodicals.
We've been binding billboard magazines probably for 30 years. They'll send us each issue every month, and over a period of a year's time, we'll bind, I think, 4 volumes and combine those books and send those to Billboard magazine.
Most of the work we do now is kind of tapered down from what we used to do. We used to do a lot of National Geographic, Reader's Digest. We do a lot of children's books, old recipe books. You'd be surprised at the old books that Grandma handed down to her. Their daughter, and they send them in here now. They want to preserve them.
We bind a lot of school textbooks because we can bind them for a lot cheaper than they can buy new ones. Just about anything in a way of book binding a book, you know, we do from every kind of book, you know, from funny books to Bibles.
Here at Norris Bookbinding, our primary thing is rebinding old Bibles. We repair over 600 a month. We're considered the world's largest Bible restoration company because of the number of books that we bind each month. As far as new bindings, we don't do a lot of new bindings, but restoration-wise, we probably do more than any other bindery in the nation.
We're proud to be able to take one like this and turn it into something nice. H.H. Norris started Norris Bookbinding in Greenwood, Mississippi in 1947. Mr. Norris had experience and had the idea of Bible binding. He knew A Bible is a very sentimental thing to a person, but for different reasons. Someone gave it to them, but it's because it's been in the family for such a long time. Nobody wants to lose their family Bible that they had so many years, so it's irreplaceable. Now, you can go buy other books and things, but you can't replace that Bible if it gets lost or torn up. People drop them out of a car and trucks run over them, cars run over. But one of the biggest things we have a problem with now, and I got a Bible here now, is one that dogs get a hold of. And they eat up part of the corners and things, you know, and we have to try to get mend that. But bindings such as canvas covers, and it goes on those books.
And they don't want to get rid of that Bible. It means a lot to them. They've had them for 50 years, a lot of them. And they can refer back to those notes. And they can buy a new Bible a lot of times cheap, and we can fix one. But it's not the same. And I'm gonna see if I can put this back on there.
The Bible business makes up about 95% of our business now because of the computers taking away so much from us, from hardback bindings, because they don't look in a book anymore, they look on a screen.
We used to do a lot more newspaper and library binding, magazine bindings than we do now. And I think one of the reasons why that has dropped off is because of the digital technology today. Many people can receive a magazine or a newspaper through the internet, read it on their phone, and I think that's one reason why we've lost a lot of the book business that we had years ago.
Now, we've had to make changes in order to survive. A lot of the binders have gone out of business that does hardback binding, but they all tell us that we got a niche because we do the Bibles. And they say, y'all will never go out of business, you know, because there's not a lot of people that know how to bind the Bible.
Well, we're still, I would say, the antique kind of binding people. You go in these big factories, they got them where they run them books and things through a machine, they come out on the end, they done. But we do so many odd and end, we don't hardly have two alike at one time. So everything's hand done. You handle every book, you handle every Bible by itself.
And we get Bibles from every state in the United States and some foreign countries. Some of these Bibles are in pretty bad shape, just like, for instance, this old family Bible right here. That's the way they look in when they come in, and some people think that something like that just can't be repaired, you know. But we can take that, and it's going to take some time to get all those pages straight. The condition of the pages, we can't. Only God could perform a miracle and make those pages new, and we have a hard time making people believe that sometimes because they paid this money to get a brand new cover, but the inside hadn't changed. But we can repair the pages if they will stand a mending tape, you know, and won't break.
The inside is still old, same information inside, but by putting a new cover on it and restoring that, then you've preserved it for another lifetime.
My brother Johnny and I own Norris Bookbinding Company now. We've been here for about 120 years if you combine our time. My brother and I got involved in it at a real early age when we were in high school and was encouraged to stay in it. And I started to work here at the age of 15 years old. And a couple of years after that, my brother Johnny started here.
So we've been happy in here, and we've worked hard all our lives, and we're not getting any younger. And it's too good a business just to let it play out. So what we want to do is get enough for our family in here and the people that's been here so long, and try to keep this place going, because since 1947, it's a long time.
We're not just setting the woods on fire, but we're still hanging on, and we give all the credit really to God for blessing us. I mean, he really has, and I think binding his book is one reason.
God has blessed us a lot, and we're hoping that we can pass it on to some of our family, and it just won't die out, because I think there'll always be a place for Bible rebinding.
Well, that's about all the time we have for this show. I think it's worth noting that we started off talking about these hangars at Bruce Campbell Field in Madison. They've been nominated for placement on the National Register of Historic Places. I think they well should be there. If you'd like information about anything you've seen in the program, contact us at mpbonline.org/Mississippi Roads. And then make sure you like our Mississippi Public Broadcasting Facebook page. Till next time, I'm Walt Grayson. I'll be seeing you on Mississippi Roads.
Mississippi Roads is made possible in part by the generous support of viewers like you. Thank you.